Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Zach Young, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Holly Fields, founder of Fit with Holly, a fitness and wellness coaching brand dedicated to helping women build strength, confidence, and sustainable health habits. Holly works with her clients to break free from burnout, self-sabotage, and all-or-nothing fitness cycles by creating programs that focus on real-world consistency, balanced nutrition, and empowering movement. Her coaching blends practical training with mindset support, helping women feel strong in their bodies, confident in their choices, and capable of sustaining long-term results without extreme diets or unhealthy pressure. Holly, a very, very warm welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great episode. We have a lot to dive into. Before we do, I do like to start with your background, though. So before Fit with Holly, can you walk us through what were you doing previously and what was really your inspiration for jumping into this space?
So my whole business started in 2000. And the reason my business started, I grew up in a little small town, hence the accent. But there was nothing there. There was nothing to do. There was no gym. We don't even have a stoplight where I grew up. So this, basically what I did was I renovated this old grocery store because my husband was building a new grocery store. And I'm like, oh, perfect. I'll just jump right in here. Brand new baby, renovating a gym. And I'm like, so really it was about kind of just having something in the community. And that took off, but at the time, there wasn't key card entries and things. So like if you had a gym, you had to basically live there. So that was only there a few years, but then that turned into, I went into public teaching. So I was teaching health and PE, and my fitness business turned into more personal training. So I did in-person training at gyms, at homes, in my basement while I was teaching. And so from that point, I created fitness boot camps. That ran for like a decade. And then it's gone through multiple iterations over the years and came back to in 2014, opened a second physical gym. But then that was great for a while, but I started just basically doing online coaching at that point because um, I moved back away. I moved like 30 minutes away from the town. And so I couldn't really do in person very easily. And I was doing in person training as well as teaching. It's just it's like one thing after another, and so really it all started just to have something in town, and now it's sort of like I still travel there a few times a week to keep the gym running because again there's still nothing there. It probably never will be if my gym closes. So I kind of look at the gym itself as sort of a community project, but then working on online coaching since COVID really, because that sort of ended my in-person stuff as well. I mean, I really didn't do a lot of it, but that just sort of ended it.
Yeah, quite the journey. Quite
Yeah.
the journey, that is for sure. But I mean, if you started doing online coaching back in 2014, I mean, you were got to be one of the first people,
Yeah.
right? That was early on in the game, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
It was, and I hate that I didn't have all of the platforms and things that I do now, but honestly, I started using an online training platform not too long after that. I want to say like maybe 2017. And I've been
Mm.
using that ever since and tried some other things. But yeah, at that point when I was coaching online, it was really more of the uh, sort of spreadsheet and Word document type of training. Like here's what I want you to do. Lots of Word documents at that point.
Yeah, I bet. But like I like to say, like you mentioned, post-COVID, online training real took off. If you were doing online training pre-COVID, you're an OG in my mind. That's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
that's where we are in this world. So quite the journey, gyms, teaching, online fitness training. Let's dive into Fit with Holly today. Can you walk us through what does the business look like today? How do you structure your work with your clients? Everything like that.
So of course I still have the brick and mortar gym, and you know, the great thing about technology on that end is that I pretty much do all of my signups for memberships online. My youngest son is in college. He actually helps me with the maintenance cleaning area, so that helps me a little bit. But that almost just it basically just takes care of itself, for the most part. It's not really an income source for me, but it does pay to keep itself open. So I have enough members that I can keep that running. But Fit with Holly really kind of evolved into the online coaching is what I'm really looking to develop over time. Um, but I am also a full-time college professor, so it's
Wow.
very it's kind of it's a lot to do. But so, the way that I work with my clients is again, the gym is sort of its own thing. I kind of run that through my website, but my online coaching is really through a different training platform. The website is just kind of the link to get there. Um, Most of my clients are women. I do train men as well, but my focus is, really women over 40 that deal with all of the things. I have a lot of clients who they're like that. I mean, I think they call it like a sandwich generation, where like their kids really aren't maybe fully on their own, but they're also dealing with taking care of their parents, and then they're
Mhm.
here in the middle, not taking care of themselves whatsoever, right? And they've done this for probably decades, or tried all of the diets and tried all of the fads. And so my focus with my online clients is number one, really just to meet them where they're at and kind of figure out what needs to change, because it just almost drives me insane the number of, influencers that are online who literally just spit out workouts, and there is nothing taken in consideration about where these women are or what kind of support they need. And most of the time, these women will get themselves into a way worse place by following something that is not really tailored to them. So, my
Mhm.
working with clients online is very customized, and it goes as far as even to analyzing blood work, looking at all of the micronutrients, not just like you can't you can't fix yourself with just workouts. Usually it goes way, way deeper. It goes into like nutritional habits, things that like trigger certain ways of eating. There's emotional eating, there's eating that's come from trauma in the past. It's like it's so much, it's almost like psychology.
Mhm.
So psychology was my minor, thank goodness. I understand a little bit about that, but it goes a lot deeper. So I work with my clients on kind of all of the pieces of the puzzle and focus on like small habit change to fix those, because you can't just do a 180. You're not going to be able to just change everything overnight. And I honestly think a lot of people think they can. They're just like, oh, I'll do this new workout, it'll be great. And it might not even last a week. Kind of
Mm.
similar to like New Year's resolutions. They don't usually last that long because there's really nothing. I look at it also like how much skin do you have in the game, right? Like if you are not invested in improving yourself truly, you're not going to do it. I think there's so much money just thrown around at quick fixes. And if you look at long-term investment, it's worth it to do something that's going to actually make a difference long term, not just
Mm.
here's a new workout for you.
You said a lot of hard hitters there,
I did.
but they were all true. And I think the two of them that really stood out to me. Um, Number one was you got to treat the whole person, right? Like this isn't just do your bicep curls this way and shoulder press this way, right? When it comes to truly transforming a lot of people's lives, you got to deal with psychology a little bit, right?
Hmm.
Because there's a reason why they're binging at nighttime or whatever it is, like you said. So
Yep.
on par there. And then, yes, for most people, right, they're either going to have to hit rock bottom, unfortunately, or they're going to have some skin in the game to
Hmm.
stick to something. That's why people are going to stick to their New Year's resolutions for 2 weeks, then be done.
Yeah.
Versus someone who invests in a coach, a trainer, they need accountability. And a lot of the times that's what Holly is there for, other coaches, things like that. So, I mean, we're only like 5 minutes in. There's been a lot of hard truths said here, which is important. So I appreciate that, Holly. I do want to ask though, you're a full-time professor. What are you teaching at the college?
So I am in undergraduate public health and healthcare leadership. Basically, just my courses are all tied to public health and health sciences. So a lot of things like chronic disease management, community health, health education and promotion. That's kind of I do basically a 4x4 load, meaning I have 4 classes that I teach per semester, and it's a pretty big load because most of my classes have about 35 plus students. So it's a whole lot of grading and a whole lot
Yeah.
of emails.
I was going to ask, how do you manage both of them?
So, I have honestly, I told my husband this the other day. I'm like, I have had, no lie, 3 jobs probably since I was 25 years old. And I don't know really how to function any other way. And I have tried to calm down. And at some point I'm going to. And I'm really making an effort because I know once you get a certain age, this is what I tell my clients. If you don't make time for health, your body's going to force you to, right? Whether it be doctor's visits or you're dealing with some illness or whatever. I feel the same way with my mindfulness, like and letting myself relax a little bit. I think it's been ingrained in me so long to not, that it's hard to do. But honestly, time management is is a really big thing. I have calendars upon calendars upon calendars to make sure that I don't forget things. Luckily, right now, my courses are online for the most part. Like um we have synchronous Zoom meetings X number of times per semester. But other than that, my work is kind of like I get done what I can get done. So luckily, I am very good at, like, once I get into the mode, I I can get the things done. But it's a very structured kind of schedule. Like, I deal with emails from this time to this time. I deal with grading from this time to this time, and I'll just cut my emails off because it will be dinging all day long with a student
Mm.
needing something, right? So that's how I kind of handle it.
Okay, some good structure, some
Yeah.
calendar management. Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense. When it comes to fit with Holly, looking to the back end of the business, how are your clients currently finding you to work with you?
So, unfortunately, I don't have enough clients finding me. Um, I will be dead honest with you. I have invested so much money into my business, with mentorship, with like social media growth, with this and that. And it is hard. It is so hard. Like, I will tell you, most of my clients have come from word of mouth and other clients, right? But that is not a sustainable, business model. Like, you
Mm,
can't just rely on that. So I have tried all of these other things, but unfortunately,
mm,
I have not really hit anything great. So, luckily, I'm not depending on my coaching as my income. But,
mm,
that's kind of really just the honest truth. It's mostly people referring people to me.
mm,
I do have, I will say that, like, my email list, like for my newsletter updates, whatever, I probably get more clients from that than social media stuff, because social media is just like, I feel like you're just buried. I feel like unless you are spending X number, and I had a guy tell me the other day who I talked with, you've got to be spending probably $100 on ads a day just to, like, make traction. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's not going to be happening right now. So it's kind of a pick and choose. Like,
yeah.
you get overwhelmed at a certain point, to be honest.
Mm. Well, like we just talked about, you got to invest in yourself, and clearly you've been doing that. So I am curious, well, like, what have you tried? What methods have you tried? Like, what have you been taught to do that hasn't worked?
I mean, I don't know, you name it. I have probably tried it. Um, I mean, to be fair, I would say that some of the people that I have worked with, here's what I hate. I hate having to watch videos and then like I don't even mind like a couple of minute video, but if there's like
Mhm.
some 30-minute video that's going to tell me how to like post something like every single day, I don't have time for either one of those, to be honest. And I'm like, I need what I'm searching for right now is like a method that will get me out there and get traction on online clients, but not bury me in posting all the time. I just feel like that is not, I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't feel like it's something that works well for me though, because I have done
Mhm.
every method there ever was for social media and posting. And I'll post this many reels, post this many stories, go do this, go to DMs.
Mhm.
You know what? I'm not that kind of person. I don't go to people's DMs and say, hey, I noticed. No, you know what? No. I'm just, I've been doing this too long. I'm just not doing that. That's not
Mhm.
me. It's not original.
The thing is, so many business owners struggle with this,
Oh, I'm sure.
right? Let's just be honest. This is
Yeah.
this is the very hard truth. And I think a word you use, which is very important, is the word sustainable, right? We all want to build sustainable businesses that we have predictable income coming in every month. You've
Yeah.
tried everything. When you throw around the word consistent, paid advertising is traditionally the best way to get there. So someone told you had to be spending $100 a day. That's 3 grand a month. Have you tried paid advertising, let's say on like Instagram or Facebook?
I have, but not to that level by
Okay.
any means, right? And so it's kind of like every time I come back around to like toying with the idea, right? And I'm thinking, okay, let's say it's $3,000 a month. Well, number one, that's huge to me. I mean, because I'm just a little person over here. I don't, make like $20,000 a month from online coaching. I mean, I don't even know, you know, what it takes. But like, let's say that the 3,000 here was a goal. So at that point, I'm like, I don't even know, you know, what ads to start. It's like everybody's got all these fancy things and cameras and this and that. I'm like, nobody's going to look at my ad. Like, I mean, you know what? I'm like, I don't know how, what's the word? How entertaining my ad is supposed to be, because I have seen some people, um, like this one person that I worked with a couple of years ago. She had a person with her, and I see her ads all the time now on Instagram, right? And I'm like, it looks like there's a whole camera production thing going on. And it's like, I don't have that. I guess I could find that, but that's a whole nother thing again, right? If I do ads, then what do they need to look like? How do I start? I just need like an ad person to say, here, you talk, you say this, you do that. Me figuring
Yeah.
it out is just it ends up exactly where I am now. Trying to figure out what, it's like
Yeah.
figure it out,
It's
don't figure, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, the key is, and first off, I got to say, Holly, I love your authenticity, right? That is very clear. And
Yeah.
I think just getting that across to the people is the key, right? You're right. I think the good saying is you try to help everybody, you help nobody. So you focus in on your message and you hone that in. And if you can get those women to see your ad, they're going to connect with you, be like, Holly's talking to me.
Yeah.
Gosh, she's talking to me. So yeah, ads, they can be tricky, but I think at the end of the day, it comes down to messaging, but you'll figure it out. I think your authenticity will shine. I would just say, just don't give up because
If I
once you
ever
figure it out, it'll
do,
go well.
figuring it out is the key.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, it's a process. The entrepreneurial journey is a process. But you'll get there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Holly, 2026 is slowly, but personally, I'd say very quickly
Yeah.
coming up on us. Do you have any goals you've set for yourself in the business for next year you're looking to achieve?
I mean, say my main goals are. really reaching my audience. I want to focus on really simplifying my messaging, but targeting the group, that I'm trying to help in the best way possible. Like you said, I mean, I think if I can get my message out there, it would be great. But honestly, I want my impact, to grow in
Mm.
2026. I mean, that's like the key thing. Without everything feeling so, I guess, overwhelming in the social media space. And so I would say detailing my systems a lot more, and you know, even if it's just as simple as identifying, okay, what ads to run, how often to run these things, what should be in
Mm.
them, because I'm the kind of person, and I know this is wrong, but sometimes you have to say the same thing to a person, or like a student or a client. You have to tell them the same thing multiple times for them to hear it, right? But like once I've done a post, I'm kind of like, oh, I already said that. Well, probably 1,000 people didn't see it, right? So I need to say it again, but I can't get that through my mind because I'm like, I've already talked about that. And somebody told me, you need to like talk to people like they're in fifth grade, and you have to say it like 20 times, 20 different ways for them to get it. And I'm like, I'm over here like I've said it twice, that's enough. They're not listening. So I got to get that out of my mind. So yeah, 2026, really, I would love to just focus on the simplification of the systems, figuring out what works right for ads, and trying to reach more women, overall, because I know that I can help them. I know I have 99% been through almost what everybody that age has been through. I've been through a
Mm.
divorce. I've been through a death of a husband. I have been through like basically losing most of my family members to death. Um, you know, so many things, like kids going to college, kids moving out. So we could say, empty nest, trauma, all of those things I have experienced. And so when it comes to coaching, I've also put this into practice myself. I've been a competitor also for 25 years, and you can't do that for that long if you don't know what you're doing. And I have had some coaches, but I've also coached myself, and I know kind of how the brain works around the whole process of fat loss or maintenance or building muscle, all of those things. And you have to, again, take your life into consideration, because this is
Mm.
not your whole life, but it's got to be a consistent habit in order to make a big transformation.
Yeah, very well said. And great goals to have. Great goals to have. It's going to be a great year. That is for sure. Holly,
Thank you.
pleasure having you on. Where can the listeners find you? Where can they connect with you online?
So they can connect with me. I'm on Instagram at Dr. Holly Fields. My website is fitwithholly.com, but I also, my new women's coaching platform, y'all, is agelessstrengthacademy.com. And that's where all of the new transformation programs are kind of run through there. And so any of those places.
Love it. Holly, pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Absolutely. And that will wrap up another inspiring episode of the Founders Feature. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go and connect with Holly on her Instagram and website. All of those links will be in the show notes and description down below. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're looking to scale your business, and you really want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with our team and discover how we went from 0 to 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing.